One faded paper receipt on the table. Stares back at me like a silent judge. Purchased a bitter drink at 23 hours, trying to swallow this heavy grudge. I stare at the numbers fading to white, thinking about the youth I spend in this chair, typing away into the hollow night, breathing in the same recycled air. I wanna break the glass and run, not just survive until the next paycheck. There is a universe inside my head, waiting to spill out and clear the deck. I need to unfold my hidden dreams, tear down the walls that keep me confined, mending the reality, tearing at the seams, leaving the quiet desperation behind. I wanna fly beyond this rented room, letting my suppressed ambitions bloom. No more waiting for the perfect day. I will carve out my own escape relay. Yeah, my reflection in the monitor screen looks like a stranger I barely know, caught in a loop of a gray routine, wondering where did the fire go. Deep in my chest the kick drum hits a rhythm of hope I refuse to delete, gathering up all my scattered bits, walking away from the one-way street. I wanna break the glass and run, not just survive until the next paycheck. There is a universe inside my head, waiting to spill out and clear the deck. I need to unfold my hidden dreams, tear down the walls that keep me confined, mending the reality, tearing at the seams, leaving the quiet desperation behind. I wanna fly beyond this rented room, letting my suppressed ambitions bloom. No more waiting for the perfect day. I will carve out my own escape relay. Yeah, they say keep your head down and stay in the lane, but the lane is a circle of endless rust. I would rather risk the freezing rain than turn my unspoken visions to dust. Every heartbeat is a countdown clock, pushing me past the mental block. I need to unfold my hidden dreams, tear down the walls that keep me confined, mending the reality, tearing at the seams, leaving the quiet desperation behind. I wanna fly beyond this rented room, letting my suppressed ambitions bloom. No more waiting for the perfect day. I will carve out my own escape relay. The fader receipt goes into the trash. I grab my coat and turn off the screen, moving forward in a sudden dash, stepping right into my waking scene, unfolding the map that I kept so deep, running toward promises I must keep. Sirens fade down the midnight avenue, cutting through the silence of our shared apartment room. You ask me why I packed my bag so late. I tell you I can no longer accept the static fate. We spent 3 years drafting spreadsheets in the dark, but deep inside my chest there is a different spark. I see you settling for the pension and the plan, but I have melodies slipping right through my hand. My 20s are dissolving in the glow screen displays. I refuse to let my passion turn into an endless haze. You told me to be careful and keep my feet upon the ground, but I am meant to elevate and hunt another sound. I need to unfold this crumpled paper airplane in my mind, throw it toward the city lights and leave the fear behind. Do not look at me with pity when I step into the cold. I'm trading insecurity for a story to be told. Watch me stretch out every ambition I kept in my chest. I'm putting my illusions and my talents to the test. That clicking of the crosswalk echoing down below reminds me it is my turn and the light is flashing go. Remember when we drank cheap soju on the roof? We swore we would demand the universe for living proof. You slowly let the gravity pull you to the chair. I do not blame your choices because life is rarely fair, but I must take this leap before my spirit starts to rust. I choose to build my castle from the concrete and the dust. Yeah, my 20s are dissolving in the glow screen displays. I refuse to let my passion turn into an endless haze. You told me to be careful and keep my feet upon the ground, but I am meant to elevate and hunt another sound. I need to unfold this crumpled paper airplane in my mind. Throw it toward the city lights and leave the fear behind. Do not look at me with pity when I step into the cold. I'm trading insecurity for a story to be told. Watch me stretch out every ambition I kept in my chest. I'm putting my illusions and my talents to the test. So keep my spare key hidden by the potted plant outside, in case the winter breaks me and I need a place to hide. But do not hold your breath, expecting my return. I am walking toward a fire where my insecurities burn. I hope you find your peace within the walls you decorate. My peace is in the hustle and the destiny I make. I need to unfold this crumpled paper airplane in my mind. Throw it toward the city lights and leave the fear behind. Do not look at me with pity when I step into the cold. I'm trading insecurity for a story to be told. Watch me stretch out every ambition I kept in my chest. I'm putting my illusions and my talents to the taxi horn is blaring by the empty corner store. I grab my worn guitar and walk directly through the door. Goodbye for now, my friend. The future calls my name. If I stayed another second, I would never be the same. The smell of wet asphalt and burnt espresso hangs thick in the air. He pulls his coat tight against the November chill, clocking into a gray cubicle designed for despair, where fluorescent lights, forces racing mind us sit still. Numbers on a monitor dictate his breathing, but his fingertips twitch to create something real. The commuter train rattles past the blinking billboards, displaying a world he is desperate to fill. Every frantic sketch on the margins of his meeting notes, every silent melody he types out on his phone. They are fragile seeds planted in a frozen garden, gathering the courage to push through the stone. He wants to unfold the wings he kept buried, trade the safe shadows for a blinding spotlight. No more existing as a background extra. He's flipping the script and claiming the night, chasing a vision that only he can perceive, breaking the lock so he can finally leave. Lunch break arrives with a tasteless deli sandwich. You watch as a falcon dive past a glass pane. Co-workers argue about mortgages and traffic while a vibrant symphony crashes right through his brain. He skips the idle gossip to stare at the skyline, measuring the gap between his room and his goal. A 30-year-old rookie with a late blooming passion, carrying a raging fire inside a weary soul. Every frantic sketch on the margins of his meeting notes, every silent melody he types out on his phone. They are fragile seeds planted in a frozen garden, gathering the courage to push through the stone. He wants to unfold the wings he kept buried, trade the safe shadows for a blinding spotlight. No more existing as a background extra. He's flipping the script and claiming the night, chasing a vision that only he can perceive, breaking the lock so he can finally leave. Doubt echoes loud when his apartment is silent, whispering that it is too late to start from scratch. But the canvas is beneath his bed, demand to be seen, and all it takes is the strike of a single match. Burn down the hesitation vision and cut the safety cord. Step out onto the edge and trust the fall. He's gonna unfold the wings that get buried. Trade the safe shadows for a blinding spotlight. No more existing as a background extra. He's flipping the script and claiming the night. Chasing a vision that only he can perceive. Breaking the lock so he can finally leave. The ink drops quickly on the resignation paper. He drops the plastic ID badge on the empty desk. Yeah, walking out into the cold evening street, absolutely ready for the beautiful risk. Breathing in the sharp winter breeze, taking the very first step toward his release. Perfect stillness shatters upon the thought that I am sitting in the background of my own unwritten movie scene. Dust dances through a single street lamp beam, cutting across the ceiling like a projector. Playing loops of everything I wanna be. I press pause on the breathing of the city, focus the lens on this cramped apartment, wanting to tear down the drywall and expand. The camera pulls back to show the isolation. A 20-something staring at a blank canvas, waiting for the director to call action. But the megaphone is sitting in my hands. I need to unfold this crumpled storyline, project my vision on the white skyline. Cut the ropes, holding the curtain close, let the hidden panoramas be exposed. I am tired of the cutting room floor. Tape through the edge of a knife. Scene 2 begins with a tracking shot. My boots stepping over frozen puddles, reflecting neon signs of shallow water. The aperture widens to capture the cold, holding on to a script I wrote in secret. Characters begging to break the mold. Every pedestrian is just a blurred extra while I recite my monologue to the wind, tracing the outline of a distant billboard where my name belongs when the reel spins. The camera pulls back to show the isolation. A 20-something staring at a blank canvas, waiting for the director to call action. But the megaphone is sitting in my hands. I need to unfold this crumpled storyline, project my vision on the white skyline. Cut the ropes, holding the curtain closed, let the hidden panoramas be exposed. I am tired of the cutting room floor. There is a universe behind this door, ready for the premiere of my own life. Running the tape through the edge of a knife. Slow motion rain suspends in mid-air, zooming in on the ink stains on my thumb. The climax is building in the chest cavity, a rhythmic pounding of a muffled drum. Color grading shifts from gray to gold as the wings of this paper bird on fold. I need to unfold this crumpled storyline, project my vision on the white skyline. Cut the ropes, holding the curtain closed, let the hidden panoramas be exposed. I am tired of the cutting room floor. There is a universe behind this door, ready for the premiere of my own life. Running the tape through the edge of a knife. Pan up to the starless canopy above, fade out the ambient street traffic sound. Hold the final frame on a looking glass where the unchained protagonist is found. Roll the credits on the old me, the next sequel is setting me free. Why does the horizon keep stepping backward when I run? Staring at my sneakers, scuffing the pavement rhythmically. Concrete lines burn to a treadmill of rent and debt. I have this folder on my desktop labeled tomorrow. Click, drag, drop my youth into a glowing rectangle. Flickering pixelated visions of a stage I have not built. Coffee cup stacked into a leaning tower of fatigue, but I cannot sleep because the idea keeps drilling into my skull. Clock ticks backwards in the mirror of my anxiety. Every tick louder than the heartbeat I ignore. I am a kite begging for a hurricane to cut the string. Let me detach from this predictable altitude. Unfold the wings tucked in my spine. Spill the ink across the blank calendar days. I wanna trace my own shadow over the skyline, not the shadow they cast down on me. Shatter the glass ceiling with a whisper. Turn the stream of static into a frequency to reach the stratosphere. I only visit in my sleep. Street lights pass by like camera flashes from a distant life. Am I moving forward or just spinning the wheels in mud? Scrolling down endless feeds of people who arrived. Did they take a shortcut I missed at the intersection? Stop signs look like suggestions when you feel trapped. My chest tightens around an ambition that outgrew my ribs. Breathing in the dust of old routines just makes me cough up rebellion. Pack my bags with nothing but ideas and loose change. I need to jump before the edge turns into a wall. Clock ticks backwards in the mirror of my anxiety. Every tick louder than the heartbeat I ignore. I am a kite begging for a hurricane to cut the string. Let me detach from this predictable altitude. Unfold the wings tucked in my spine. Spill the ink across the blank calendar days. I wanna trace my own shadow over the skyline, not the shadow they cast down on me. Shatter the glass ceiling with a whisper. Turn the stream of static into a frequency to reach the stratosphere. I only visit in my sleep. Fragments of sentences collide in the back of my throat. A monologue of passion, wrestling with the fear of crashing. Maybe gravity is just a state of mind we learned in school. If I erase the formula, I can finally float away. Let the blueprint burn and draw a map with the ashes. Unfold the wings tucked in my spine. Spill the ink across the blank calendar days. I wanna trace my own shadow over the skyline, not the shadow they cast down on me. Shatter the glass ceiling with a whisper. Turn the stream of static into a frequency to reach the stratosphere. I only visit in my sleep. The question remains hanging in the cold apartment air. Still stepping toward a destination without coordinates. My dream is an open wound that I refuse to bandage. Bleeding color onto the gray pavement until I disappear. Just a silhouette, finally merging with the sky. Gravity concentrates its force inside the spinning chair, pulling down my shoulders through another corporate screen. I'm writing to the teenager I left inside the mirror. You memorized the formulas and quarantined your dream. The padded seat absorbs the weight of compromised ideals while clicking away the hours in a suffocating room. You believe the lie that safety is the only way to heal, but this cubicle is feeling like a carpeted tomb. We stacked our wild imagination on a dusty shelf, traded infinite horizons for a steady monthly wage. But I am breaking out of this invisible cage. This is my confession to my former self. I am unfolding the blueprints you were scared to show, leaving the comfort of the ground to see how far we go. Every silenced ambition is bursting from the seams. I am finally making space to execute our dreams. Forgive me for the decade that I threw into the fire. We are scribble lyrics on the transit bus, hiding all the notebooks when the teachers walked around. You were terrified the word would make a joke of us, so you swallowed every syllable and never made a sound. Let me tell you from the future that the silence is a curse. The heaviest burden is the art we do not make. I am ripping up the contract and putting it in reverse, choosing the turbulence for our own sake. We stacked our wild imagination on a dusty shelf, traded infinite horizons for a steady monthly wage. But I am breaking out of this invisible cage. This is my confession to my former self. I am unfolding the blueprints you were scared to show, leaving the comfort of the ground to see how far we go. Every silenced ambition is bursting from the seams. I am finally making space to execute our dreams. Forgive me for the decade that I threw into the fire. We are climbing up the ashes and aiming for the wire. Read these printed lines and know we are alive. The fear you felt back then was just a test of will. I had to hit the absolute bottom to survive. Now I am standing up and leaving nothing standing still. The wheels upon this office floor will never roll again. I am trading in the keyboard for a fountain pen. I am unfolding the blueprints you were scared to show, leaving the comfort of the ground to see how far we go. Every silenced ambition is bursting from the seams. I am finally making space to execute our dream. Forgive me for the decade that I threw into the fire. We are climbing up the ashes and aiming for the wire. Postscript at the bottom of the crumpled page. The gravity is broken and the chair is cast aside. We are stepping right directly on the open stage. No more places left to hide. End of the letter, beginning of the ride. Yesterday my colleagues said to lower my expectations, while a plastic cup dripped condensation on unpaid bills. The subway door closes exactly 3 seconds after the chime. I watch a pigeon fighting over discarded pastry crumbs. Everyone moves in strict lines from the station to the office. I notice a dandelion breaking through concrete by the crosswalk. These tiny fractions of the city whisper in my ear. They ask if I plan to become just another gray ghost. The neon sign above the late night pharmacy flickers twice, reminding me of the ember I desperately keep shielding. I have to unfold my canvas across this narrow skyline. I have to stretch my wings before they completely turn to stone. Every little observation pushes me closer to the ledge, not to plummet but to finally take a leap of faith. There is a massive universe waiting past these cramped avenues. I need to show the world the vivid colors I memorized. An elderly man feeds a stray tabby near the brick alley. The street lamp buzzes with a high pitch before shutting down entirely. Dust particles dance inside the exhaust fumes of the morning bus. A drop metro pass lies face down on the wet pavement. The rapid sound of typing leaks from a half-open window. My reflection in the dark glass looks tired but intensely focused. These tiny fractions of the city whisper in my ear. They ask if I plan to become just another gray ghost. The neon sign above the late night pharmacy flickers twice, reminding me of the ember I desperately keep shielding. I have to unfold my canvas across this narrow skyline. I have to stretch my wings before they completely turn to stone. Every little observation pushes me closer to the ledge, not to plummet but to finally take a leap of faith. There is a massive universe waiting past these cramped avenues. I need to show the world the vivid colors I memorized. I count the hollow seconds between the red and green lights. I measure the vast distance between my desk and my true destination. A broken umbrella struggles against a sudden gust of wind. It flips inside out, but the metal frame refuses to snap. A tiny act of rebellion speaks louder than yesterday's cynical advice. The local barista draws a clumsy smile on my cardboard sleeve. A child in a stroller points at a jet cutting through the overcast sky. The engines roar somewhere far above this predictable grid. I finally step my worn sneakers off the designated path, letting the dream spill out into the open air. Yeah. Course walls crash against my collarbone, tracing the grooves of a jacket I wore a decade ago. Back when the city felt like a massive canvas, before the gray office walls started stealing my shadows. I closed my eyes and smelled the cheap winter wind, waiting for the night bus at Terminal 3. A sketch pad hidden deep inside the inner pocket, guarding the sketches that only belong to me. Now the cloth is wearing thin at the elbows, time chewed through the fibers while I pay my rent. Yeah, but the heartbeat pressed against this heavy lining cannot be silenced by the years I spent. I need to unfold this map before the ink dries completely. Take the scissors to the safety net, keeping me still. My hands remember the altitude of falling stars, and my lungs remember the air at the top of the hill. Tearing open the stitches I used to hide my ambition. I'm stepping out of the wardrobe into the blinding white. It is finally time to wear my real colors into the flashing pulse of the open night. I drift back into the crowded basement studio, beating on a broken keyboard until our fingers bled. We swore we would never wear the corporate uniform. Now I look at the slacks hanging by my bed. The rough canvas of the sneakers I used to walk in still holds the dirt from a mountain we climbed in spring. Back when I actually believed in my own voice, before I traded the microphone for a sensible ring. Every fiber in this old sweater is a time machine, rewinding the clock to the boy who had nothing to lose. He's staring at me through the mirror glass right now, asking me which version of the future I will choose. Now the cloth is wearing thin at the elbows, time chewed through the fibers while I paid my rent. But the heartbeat pressed against this heavy lining cannot be silenced by the years I spent. I need to unfold this map before the ink dries completely. Take the scissors to the safety net, keeping me still. My hands remember the altitude of falling stars, and my lungs remember the air at the top of the hill. Tearing open the stitches I used to hide my ambition. I'm stepping out of the wardrobe into the blinding white. It is finally time to wear my real colors into the flashing pulse of the open night. Memory's a heavy coat you can easily drown in if you only wear it to hide from the freezing rain. I'm taking the needle out of my bleeding thumb, so when I parachute out of the leftover pain, the texture of tomorrow feels like smooth silk slipping through the calluses of my trembling hands. I'm leaving the dust of the basement behind me, following the rhythm of a place no one else understands. Cores will falls to the hardwood floor. I'm not the person I was a moment before. The canvas is blank and the thread is pulled tight. Taking a breath and stepping out of the frame. Remember the dream. I remember my name. 11:59 blinks on the digital screen, casting a synthetic emerald over the scene, drafting out a vision while the neighborhood sleeps, counting all the promises my future self keeps. I close my tired eyelids and step through a door into a stadium built in 2034. Spotlights tracing patterns on a screaming floor. Everything I sacrificed finally meant something more. Tired muscles fade into the background noise, replaced by the echo of a confident voice. No longer the rookie with the head full of doubt. I picture the moment the stadium lights go out, taking center stage in my mind tonight, watching my own silhouette catch the blinding light. Every skip, dinner, and every silent tear transforms into diamond. When I look from here, I stretch out my hands and the skyline bends. This is where the quiet desperation is. Picturing the crowd 10 years away, giving me the oxygen to breathe today. The bass will shake the rafters of the venue hall. I see the gold plaques hanging on my studio wall. No more counting pennies just to pay for the track. No more looking forward while feeling pulled back. I grab the microphone and feel the weight in my grip, tasting the sweet victory upon my lip. Looking at the balcony where my family stands, holding all my records in their trembling hands. That flash of tomorrow is a tether to now, pulling me through the mud though I do not know how. Tired muscles fade into the background noise, replaced by the echo of a confident voice. No longer the rookie with the head full of doubt. I picture the moment the stadium lights go out, taking center stage in my mind tonight, watching my own silhouette catch the blinding light. Every skip, dinner, and every silent tear transforms into diamond. When I look from here, I stretch out my hands and the skyline bends. This is where the quiet desperation ends. Picturing the crowd 10 years away, giving me the oxygen to breathe today. Sometimes the present feels like a heavy chain, dragging through the gravel in the midnight rain. But I built a time machine behind my eyes to visit the summit where the eagles rise. I taste the cold champagne of a chart debut, knowing exactly what I had to suffer through. Let the clock tick forward to the destiny set. I have not even met my own greatness yet. Taking center stage in my mind tonight, watching my own silhouette catch the blinding light. Every skip, dinner, and every silent tear transforms into diamond. When I look from here, I'm stretching my hands and the skyline bends. This is where the quiet desperation ends. Picturing the crowd 10 years away, giving me the oxygen to breathe today. The green digits turn to a 00. I am the architect of my own hero. The stadium vanishes back into the dark, leaving just the ember of a brand new spark. I pick up my pen and return to the grind, with the roar of the future still trapped in my mind. A plastic ladder sits beside the monitor. Never smoked a day, just need a spark to look at. 28 years old, trapped in the spreadsheet grids, filtering my 20s through a blue light screen. They say stability is the ultimate modern trophy. Pay the rent, buy the groceries, repeat the cycle quietly, but my pulse beats in an entirely different tempo, demanding to break out of this neat little box. My feet tap a baseline against the linoleum floor, staring at the ceiling while painting an open sky. The salary keeps the body alive, but the spirit starves. Time to cash out of this very safe illusion. I need to unfold my wings before the feathers turn to dust. I need to paint the canvas with colors they told me to hide. Let the monthly deposit slip away from my steady grip, trading the golden handcuffs for the turbulent wind. There is a fire burning behind my heavy retinas, and I cannot blink it out just to fit inside their frame. Rewind the tape back to when I was 17. Wanted to direct films, tell stories to dark theaters. Now I direct quarterly reports for a ghost on the top floor. The plastic glider catches my vision once again. A tiny vessel holding pure potential energy. If I strike the wheel, the flame is born instantly. Why can't I not do the exact same thing with my life? Just strike the flint and watch the shadow disappear. My feet tap a baseline against the linoleum floor, staring at the ceiling while painting an open sky. The salary keeps the body alive, but the spirit starves. Time to cash out of this very safe illusion. I need to unfold my wings before the feathers turn to dust. I need to paint the canvas with colors they told me to hide. Let the monthly deposit slip away from my steady grip, trading the golden handcuffs for the turbulent wind. There is a fire burning behind my heavy retinas, and I cannot blink it out just to fit inside their frame. What is the worst consequence of stumbling down? A bruised ego and a slightly lighter wallet. What is the consequence of staying right in this chair, becoming a ghost while the heart is still beating? calculation is simple when you remove the panic. The risk of the fall is worth the chance to fly. Pushing the chair back, standing up in the silence. The lighter goes directly into my left pocket, drafting my resignation letter inside my head. Tomorrow the desk will be completely empty. My own story finally begins to record. Heavy diesel engines rumble past your window, shaking the empty beer cans on the floor. You tell me it is just the city moving, but I hear a timer ticking at the door. We just turned 29 this past November, trading our poetry for pension plans. You bought a tailored suit to match the cubicle. Oh, I am still staring at my empty hands. Do you remember when we met the universe, using a cocktail napkin and a pen? Now you just talk about your weekend schedule. I wanna find a spinning world again. I cannot sit inside this waiting room forever. I need to stretch my arms across the skyline, tear down the ceiling we were taught to build. My lungs are begging for a different atmosphere. My cup is cracking, but it is not filled. Look at me, friend, before we fade to nothing. Do not pretend you do not feel the draft. I'm stepping out into the freezing midnight to finally build my own impossible raft. Motorcycles cut the silence into pieces, just like the doubts you whisper in my ear. You say the safest bet is keeping quiet. You say survival is the only logic here. I watch the fluorescent flicker in your hallway, casting a shadow on your tired face. We used to promise we would break the formula. Now you're defending this precise rat race. I do not judge you for the path you settled on, but do not expect me to just walk in line. Do you remember when we met the universe, using a cocktail napkin and a pen? Now you just talk about your weekend schedule. I wanna find a spinning world again. I cannot sit inside this waiting room forever. I need to stretch my arms across the skyline, tear down the ceiling we were taught to build. My lungs are begging for a different atmosphere. My cup is cracking, but it is not filled. Look at me, friend, before we fade to nothing. Do not pretend you do not feel the draft. I'm stepping out into the freezing midnight to finally build my own impossible raft. Your television drones and muted broadcast, a static glow illuminating dust. I know you think I am chasing a mirage, but standing still is just a slow disgust. Let the apartment swallow up the silence. I'm packing up the blueprints that we drew. If I fail completely in the pouring rain, at least I lived the way we wanted to. The diesel engines fade into the distance. I grab my jacket from the wooden chair. I hope you find some peace inside your comfort. I have to go and breathe the open air. Look for my name up in the changing season. I am unfolding everything we hid. A bitter scent of roasted espresso lingers heavy in her tiny room. She taps a rhythm on the drum machine pad, pushing away the impending gloom. Her peers are climbing the corporate ladder, carrying briefcases and wearing suits, but she is nurturing a different seed, waiting to finally bear her fruits. She stares at the blinking interface screen, knowing exactly what this must mean. her to just conform, to seek out a shelter from the storm. But a quiet fire burns in her chest, and she will not settle for second best. She wants to tear up the safety net, place every chip on a wild roulette, because locking away her grand design feels worse than walking the razor line. She is ready to spread her hidden wings, whatever the consequence finally brings. She will color the world in her own shade before the passion begins to fade. Her mother calls with a worried voice, questioning this unconventional choice. She answers back with a steady resolve, watching the doubts begin to dissolve. She loops the bass and adjusts the snare, breathing the heavy and moving air. No guaranteed pension or steady wage, just a story she writes on a blank new page. She walks through the shadows to find her lane, enduring the judgment and all the society tells her to just conform, to seek out a shelter from the storm. But a quiet fire burns in her chest, and she will not settle for second best. She wants to tear up the safety net, place every chip on a wild roulette, because locking away her grand design feels worse than walking the razor line. She is ready to spread her hidden wings, whatever the consequence finally brings. She will color the world in her own shade before the passion begins to fade. The staircase is steep and the nights are long, but she pours her spirit into the song. Look at her stand on the empty stage, breaking the locks of a quiet cage. Her lyrics become a defiant sword, cutting through everything she ignores. She writes another chapter tonight, steering her ship directly toward the light. No regrets lingering in her mind, leaving the ordinary world behind. She unfolds her dream out loud and rises above the faceless crowd. Dead air snaps when the realization ignites. My bedroom is just a temporary set, bathed in lights. The smoke's floating in the blue monitor glow. Camera pans slowly across the unpaid bills below. Cut to the mirror reflecting a tired spine. The screenplay demands I leave the shadow behind. Tight close up on hands gripping the desk edge. I am stepping right over the narrative ledge. Lighting shifts from fluorescent cold to warm gold. The background blurs out as the story unfolds. 30 years living as a featured extra. Now I grab the lens and change the entire spectrum, writing my ambition in the margins of the script, watching the boring sequences completely get skipped. I want to roll the tape on my own premiere. No more hiding the fire in the atmosphere. Tracking shots follow me out of this tiny apartment, zooming straight past every corporate department. I am tearing down the green screen in my mind, leaving the dull cuts of yesterday far behind. I wanna stretch my wings across the wide screen, becoming the protagonist of an uncut scene. Shallow depth of field on my boots hitting pavement, pacing through the rain in a sudden wave of statement. Neon reflections bounce off the camera lens flare, capturing the heavy breathing in the damp night air. The audio track isolates my heartbeat pounding, drowning out the doubts that are constantly surrounding. Wide angle on the skyline, I am meant to conquer, a lone figure moving faster than a ticking clock contour. Lighting shifts from fluorescent cold to warm gold. The background blurs out as the story unfolds. 30 years living as a featured extra. Now I grab the lens and change the entire spectrum, writing my ambition in the margins of the script, watching the boring sequences completely get skipped. I want to roll the tape on my own premiere. No more hiding the fire in the atmosphere. Tracking shots follow me out of this tiny apartment, zooming straight past every corporate department. I am tearing down the green screen in my mind, leaving the dull cuts of yesterday far behind. I wanna stretch my wings across the wide screen, slow motion capture of the fear falling away. 24 frames a second making the color stay. I do not need a stunt double for the impact. I am taking the hits and bringing the courage back. Montage of the late nights grinding for the vision. Every drop of sweat was a calculated decision. Now the projector warms up in the back of the room, ready to display how a suppressed flower can bloom. I want to roll the tape on my own premiere. No more hiding the fire in the atmosphere. Tracking shots, follow me out of this tiny apartment. Zooming straight past every corporate department. I am tearing down the green screen in my mind, leaving the dull cuts of yesterday far behind. I wanna stretch my wings across the wide screen, becoming the protagonist of an uncut scene. Fade to black, but the music continues to swell. The credits roll, showing a story I finally tell. No more whispering lines written by someone else. The silence returns, but I have conquered myself and seen. Keep the focus sharp. If the future isn't written, then who keeps erasing my drafts? Counting tiles on the ceiling while the fan blades spin backwards. Or maybe my eyes are just tired of focusing on the expected. They tell me I should settle into this comfortable chair, but the cushion feels like quicksand, swallowing my youth. I left the sketchbook in a drawer back in 2019. Charcoal smudges on the margins, waiting for a spark. A spark needs oxygen, and I am breathing recycled air in this cubicle. Do the pigeons on the ledge know they are free to fly away? My monitor glitched, displaying a momentary blackout, just long enough to see my own reflection staring back. A stranger trapped in a business casual disguise. The coffee is cold and my pulse is too fast. Every ticking second demands a masterpiece I have yet to paint. Tear the schedule into pieces, let them scatter on the floor. I cannot shrink myself to fit inside a spreadsheet anymore. I am bursting at the seams with universes unexpressed. Colors bleeding through the fabric of a monotone existence. I want to unfold the crumpled map bursting in my chest. Stretch it out across the skyline, disregarding the resistance. No more whispering my ambitions to the empty night. I need to scream them into reality under the fluorescent light. To take this messy, chaotic, beautiful storm in my head and walk the untamed path where the brave angels tread. I'm scrolling through a timeline of other people succeeded, and pixels flashing blue against the retinas, burning a hole 30 years old. They say you must have the foundation poured, but concrete is so permanent, and I am fluid water rushing down a mountain stream. Past the borders of logic, my heart beats in syncopation, skipping every second measure. Jazz notes played on a broken piano in an alleyway. Let the dissonant chords become the anthem of my escape. Who cares if the melody is strange when the rhythm is mine? Tracing the lines on my palm, trying to read the future, wondering if fate is just a word we use to excuse our fear. The coffee is cold and my pulse is too fast. Every ticking second demands a masterpiece I have yet to paint. Tear the schedule into pieces, let them scatter on the floor. I cannot shrink myself to fit inside a spreadsheet anymore. I am bursting at the seams with universes unexpressed. Colors bleeding through the fabric of a monotone existence. I want to unfold the crumpled map bursting in my chest. Stretch it out across the skyline, disregarding the resistance. No more whispering my ambitions to the empty night. I need to scream them into reality under the fluorescent light. To take this messy, chaotic, beautiful storm in my head and walk the untamed path where the brave angels tread. Logic dictates playing safe, securing the perimeter, but logic never painted a masterpiece or touched the stars. Let the doubts dissolve into the white noise of the street. Every footstep is a drumbeat marching out of the cage. I will trade security for a chance to finally breathe. My canvas is infinite and I am holding the brush. The fan blades keep spinning, but now I am watching the sky. Thoughts spilling out and ribbons catching the wind. I unbox the dream and leave the packaging behind. Just me and the open road dissolving into the distance. No script to follow, just motion. 80 pounds of steel and leather, bind my legs to the ground. This ergonomic office don't feels like an anchor pulling me down. I bought an expensive cushion to make the surrender comfortable, but the pressure on my spine just reminds me I am trapped. Dear younger me, you swore we would conquer the universe by 30. You sketched spaceships on the back of textbooks and told no lies. I look at those wrinkled pages now and feel completely absurd, trading your galaxy for a fluorescent grid and tired eyes. You would despise the suit I wear, the polite bows I give to strangers, the way I negotiate my passions into weekend hobbies. But do not burn the photograph of us just yet. I still remember the promise we made in the quiet apartment lobby. I am writing this to tell you I am standing up today. The gravity of this heavy chair cannot hold our wings anymore. I'm taking every blueprint that you drew in the dirt, and I am finally letting those paper airplanes soar. Watch me unfold the canvas we stretched across the dark. I will turn every compromise into a spark. Yeah, your worn out sneakers had holes, but they ran towards the skyline. My polished leather shoes only walk back to the subway station. I read the diary entry where you swore you would be different, and I felt the sting of a decade wrapped in pure hesitation. So I packed up the fountain pen and left the monitor blank. No more hiding our ambition in a hidden desktop folder, and bringing your stubborn heart back into the driver's seat. Even though the world outside is moving twice as fast and colder, you would despise the excuses I made, the safe bets I chose to play, the way I traded our destiny for a steady paycheck. But do not tear up the tickets we bought for the long flight. I'm cashing them in before the system makes me a wreck. I am writing this to tell you I am standing up today. The gravity of this heavy chair cannot hold our wings anymore. I'm taking every blueprint that you drew in the dirt, and I am finally letting those paper airplanes soar. Watch me unfold the canvas we stretched across the dark. I will turn every compromise into a spark. Every time you cry because nobody understood your vision, I was the one who betrayed you by learning how to blend in. Forgive me for the lost seasons and the silent submissions. I'm tearing down the walls where my complacency begins. This letter is a contract signed in my own rebellion. We are taking back the name we buried underneath the snow. The 80-pound chair sits empty in a quiet room. I am walking out the glass doors, facing the open wind. Keep looking at the stars, kid. I am on my way to you. Our canvas is stretching out. The dream begins again. Yeah, fluorescent purple paints the damp concrete, while the crossing signal ticks on repeat. You asked me for a light with shaking hands, a fellow wanderer with shifting plans. You wear a suit that looks a size too big, carrying the weight of the corporate gig. I blow a cloud of gray into the cold and ask you if you do what you are told. You laugh and say your passion died in school, trading your music for the office rule. The silence settles like the winter chill, two random shadows on a quiet hill. You look at me and ask me what I write in this worn notebook under shifting light. I tell you I am building wings of glass, refusing just to let my 20s pass. I need to stretch my arms across the sky. I cannot let this quiet fire die. You nod your head and stare into the street, admitting that you feel the same defeat. But tonight we break the chains we tied, unfolding all the dreams we shoved inside. Strangers bleeding out our honest youth, finding freedom in a sudden truth. Yeah, you pull a crinkled demo from your coat, explaining every single hidden note. I read a lyric I've kept concealed about the heavy scars that never healed. We stand beside the shuttered liquor store, agreeing that we both were made for more. The world demands a silent compromise, but I can see the thunder in your eyes. You say you might just quit the desk tomorrow and leave behind this suffocating sorrow. The silence settles like the winter chill to random shadows on a quiet hill. You look at me and tell me I should fly and stop pretending I am terrified. I tell you we are building wings of glass, refusing just to let our 20s pass. I need to stretch my arms across the sky. I cannot let this quiet fire die. You nod your head and stare into the street, admitting that you feel the same defeat. But tonight we break the chains we tied, unfolding all the dreams we shoved inside. Strangers bleeding out our honest youth, finding freedom in a sudden truth. The purple neon flickers turns to red. The bus approaches heavy with the dread of returning to the schedule and the clock, but we are standing firmly on the block. You hand me that old demo tape and smile, saying you will disappear a little while. I hand my written pages back to you, proof that the impossible is true. The automatic doors swing open wide, but neither of us takes a step inside. We watch the taillights vanish in the dark, a sudden brilliance catching on a spark, fluorescent purple fading into gold. Our future stories waiting to be told. Keep your expectations realistic and quiet. My manager suggested yesterday afternoon by the cooler. Now I sit tracing a deep scratch in my desk. A plastic wall clock clicks entirely out of sync. Condensation drips from an ice cold brew onto my keyboard. A gray moth bumps endlessly against the fluorescent tube. I catalog these fragments of a typical Tuesday, watching the slow evaporation of my own timeline. Outside the window, pigeons peck at damn filters. A spider spins a deliberate trap in the corner. Every single object follows a strict gravitational law, but a relentless heat pulses against my watch strap. I need to unfold my wings past this drop ceiling, spread out a blueprint large enough to swallow the district. I memorize the exact placement of staples and paper clips to remind myself why I have to run toward the edge. They suggest I settle for a safe seat in the audience. I choose to become the unscripted spark on the stage. I wanna tear the itinerary into white confetti and scatter it across the intersection at midnight. Commuters loosen their ties in the metallic mirror. Subway door slides shut, missing the shoulder by an inch. A student frowns at a blinking red battery icon. Black umbrellas drip rainwater into neat puddles. A discarded lottery ticket floats over a sidewalk. Great headlights reflect softly inside a shattered glass bottle. So many tiny details anchoring us to the pavement. So many silent agreements we sign without looking. I feel the vibration of a passing train beneath my boots. I spot 3 pale stars fighting through the thick smog. Every single person marches on an invisible painted line, but my lungs demand a vastly different atmospheric pressure. I need to unfold my wings past this drop ceiling, spread out a blueprint large enough to swallow the district. I memorize the exact placement of staples and paper clips to remind myself why I have to run toward the edge. They suggest I settle for a safe seat in the audience. I choose to become the unscripted spark on the stage. I wanna tear the itinerary into white confetti and scatter it across the intersection at midnight. Realistic and quiet translates to fading in a gray plaster. It means accepting the coffee stains on the rug as destiny. I am actively collecting these minuscule moments of suffocation, building a springboard out of mundane corporate frustration. I see the dust settling on my favorite jacket, and I brush it off with a heavy and absolute intention. The manager's voice completely dissolves into plain white noise. The plastic ice cup sits empty by the monitor. A screensaver bounces oddly from corner to corner. I grip my bag and step out of the revolving door. Every small observation becomes fuel for the engine. Tonight I finally unfold a map they never wrote. Yeah, rough canvas fibers graze my knuckles. An oversized winter coat pulled from the closet floor. The stiff denim and frayed cotton threads drag me backward. 10 years evaporate right through my front door. Suddenly I am sitting on the mattress of a rented shoebox, counting leftover coins for a single bowl of rice. My fingers are freezing but my pen refuses to stop, scribbling out melodies and paying the ultimate price. Back then my hoodie was piling at the cuffs. My throat was sore from shouting into the dark. Every rejection letter only made the vision tough. I carried a whole galaxy contained in a single spark. Now my work suits are tailored and the fabric is entirely smooth. I purchased the quiet stability the adults told me to choose. But there is a physical knot tightening deep inside my chest. A younger phantom rising up and refusing to accept this rest. I need to rip the knee stitches right out of this routine. Unfold the massive wings I buried behind a corporate screen. That 20-year-old kid is glaring at me through the mirror glass, demanding to know why I let a decade so quietly pass. I wanna stretch my crumpled blueprint across the night sky, trace the lost constellations before the inner fire dies. My wild ambition was never meant to be boxed and folded away. I'm walking straight back into the blinding light today. Flicking through mental Polaroids of a basement rehearsal space. Dust particles floating heavy under a cheap flickering bulb. We wore thrifted jackets and laughed in the winter rain, arguing about chord progressions until our voices grew dull. I swore I would carve my permanent signature into the concrete, force this indifferent city to memorize my irregular heartbeat. Then the heavy calendars flipped and adult responsibilities piled high. Practical logic sat me down and taught me how to comply. I traded the microphone for a spreadsheet and a tie. Let the colors bleed out until the canvas went completely dry. Now my work suits are tailored and the fabric is entirely smooth. I purchased the quiet stability the adults told me to choose. But there is a physical knot tightening deep inside my chest. A younger phantom rising up and refusing to accept this rest. I need to rip the knee stitches right out of this routine. Unfold the massive wings I buried behind a corporate screen. That 20-year-old kid is glaring at me through the mirror glass, demanding to know why I let a decade so quietly pass. I wanna stretch my crumpled blueprint across the night sky, trace the lost constellations before the inner fire dies. My wild ambition was never meant to be boxed and folded away. I'm walking straight back into the blinding light today. Memory acts as a needle piercing through my numb outer layers. Every sudden flashback answers my deeply silenced prayers. I'm not too old to risk the fragile foundation again. I'm finally grasping the end of this tangled and twisted skein. Draw the heavy curtains back and let the public judgment pour in. I have too much raw universe trapped beneath this aging skin. The rough canvas coat drops from my trembling hands. I take my first real step toward uncharted and dangerous lands. No more locking the midnight sketches inside the bottom drawer. The past just handed me the key to the iron door. Watch me unfold every single piece of who I actually am. Watch me reclaim the fragments and execute the original plan. Yeah, 3:15 flashes in neon green on the digital clock. I shut my tired eyes and let the mental barriers unlock. Instead of this cramped basement with the water damage and mold, I picture floor to ceiling glass and wristwatches dipped in gold. Platinum records hanging where the wallpaper started to peel. The snare drum hits different when you grip a leather steering wheel. I see myself speaking into a custom-plated microphone, explaining to the massive crowd how I built it all alone. The premonition feels too solid to brush off as lack of rest. Every midnight audio bounce puts my endurance to the test. I reject the idea that my potential stays locked in my brain. I have to drag the future backward through the pouring rain. I wanna unfold this vision until it swallows the horizon, striding through the penthouse doors with my final disguise gone. Looking back at the kid who stared at numbers in the dark, grinning because the wild imagination actually left a mark. The ambition is too gigantic to remain a secret within. I am spreading out my wings inside the moment where I went. Yeah, the contract for this tiny studio terminates next December, but mentally I occupy a boardroom they will all remember. Immaculate tailor jackets covering these thrifted cotton layers, shaking hands with executives and sitting among the major players. Journalists ask me how I navigated the silence and the cold. I tell them I rehearsed the interviews before the story was told. I treated the illusion like a fact until reality submitted, becoming the exact phenomenon my earlier self admitted. The premonition feels too solid to brush off as lack of rest. Every midnight audio bounce puts my endurance to the test. I reject the idea that my potential stays locked in my brain. I have to drag the future backward through the pouring rain. I wanna unfold this vision until it swallows the horizon, striding through the penthouse doors with my final disguise gone. Looking back at the kid who stared at numbers in the dark, grinning because the wild imagination actually left a mark. The ambition is too gigantic to remain a secret within. I am spreading out my wings inside the moment where I win. Yeah. Critics label it delusion to celebrate an empty room. I call it laying down the foundation before the flowers bloom. You must memorize the acceptance speech before the nomination, otherwise the sudden altitude will wreck your concentration. I'm shifting my center of gravity for the summit air. 316 rewrites the digital block on the glowing screen. 60 seconds closer to the most beautiful life I have seen. The monitor strains my vision, but the destination shines bright. Tomorrow is just a bridge connecting my spirit to the height. Unfolding the massive masterpiece I kept hidden under the floor. Two rustic keys rest quietly on the mahogany desk beside a spreadsheet I'm supposed to submit by 5. The screen blinks cursor commands at my tired retina. Society tells me 28 is the deadline for stability. Locked on the monthly paycheck, purchased the minimalist furniture, but there is a parachute packed tight behind my ribs. Every time I breathe, an line strains against the bone. I'm suffocating in this perfectly engineered safety net. I look at the window, the traffic crawling like insects, everyone marching in a straight line to a scheduled destiny. My fingers twitch, hovering above the backspace key, erasing the sensible choices I was conditioned to make. I need to rip this canvas wide open, spill all the colors they call too loud. There's an entire sky waiting inside my locked throat. I wanna unfold every crumpled ambition, throw myself into the freezing, unpredictable current. Watch the paper boats of my childhood turn into steel ships. I'm done playing a supporting character in my own mind. Yo, calculated risk, always in and zero, some regret. My manager speaks in percentages, growth metrics, and fear. He says the creative path is nothing but a beautiful graveyard. But what is the point of a steady pulse if the heart is sedated? I trace the metallic ridges of the keys on the wood. They only open doors that I wanna walk away from. This rented apartment feels like a velvet lined coffin. I am hoarding all this kinetic energy for someday that never arrives. I look at the window, the traffic crawling like insects, sex. Everyone marching in a straight line to a scheduled destiny. My fingers twitch, hovering above the backspace key, erasing the sensible choices I was conditioned to make. I need to rip this canvas wide open, spill all the colors they call too loud. There's an entire sky waiting inside my locked throat. I wanna unfold every crumbled ambition, throw myself into the freezing, unpredictable current. Watch the paper boats of my childhood turn into steel ships. I'm done playing a supporting character in my own mind. Unfolding takes time, unfolding means breaking the heavy creases. It means exposing the white edges to the dirty city rain. I know gravity will try to drag me down to the pavement, but I would rather shatter falling from a terrible, brilliant height than rust quietly on this identical wooden desk. I need to rip this canvas wide open, spill all the colors they call too loud. There's an entire sky waiting inside my locked throat. I wanna unfold every crumpled ambition, throw myself into the freezing, unpredictable current. Watch the paper boats of my childhood turn into steel ships. I'm finally the author taking back the pen. The screen goes completely dark, the keys stay right where they are. I push the chair back against the silent walls, footsteps walking toward the unlocked door. Ready to stretch, ready to break the frame. Tires squeal against a slick intersection. We're standing by the crosswalk waiting for the signal. Yeah, you keep staring at the glowing red hand, talking about how the rent swallowed your paycheck. My friend, we have memorized the city block by block, counting every compromise we made since graduation. I see the heavy folders stuffed into your briefcase, but I remember when you used to sketch airplanes. Something inside my chest is breaking the lock. I cannot swallow another predictable shift. You feel it too when we look at the skyline. The glass towers look more like cages than progress. I need to unfurl these crumpled ambitions. We deserve a bigger canvas than this crowded street. Tell your supervisor you are done clocking in. I will empty my savings and pack up the car. Let us paint over the boundaries they drew for us. I wanna see how far our wings can actually reach. Passing bus hums through the puddles by the curb, splashing dirty water on the shoes we bought for interviews. You told me last month you felt completely invisible. I feel like a ghost haunting my own cubicle, but listen closely to the rhythm in your pulse. It does not match the ticking of the digital clocks. I bought a new microphone and a blank notebook. I am leaving the safety net rotting in my desk drawer. Something inside my chest is breaking the lock. I cannot swallow another predictable shift. You feel it too when we look at the skyline. The glass towers look more crumpled ambitions. We deserve a bigger canvas than this crowded street. Tell your supervisor you are done clocking in. I will empty my savings and pack up the car. Let us paint over the boundaries they drew for us. I wanna see how far our wings can actually reach. Do not give me that nervous, hesitant smile of yours. Do not say it is too late for people our age. 30 is just a meaningless number printed on a calendar. Our lungs are still hungry for uncharted air. I am handing you half of this unwritten map. Take it and step off the concrete edge with me. I need to unfurl these crumpled ambitions. We deserve a bigger canvas than this crowded street. Tell your supervisor you're done clocking in. I will empty my savings and pack up the car. Let us paint over the boundaries they drew for us. I wanna see how far our wings can actually reach. The pit pedestrian and light flashes green across the asphalt. We do not have to walk toward the same dull office.